An expectant crowd here at the York Hall in Bethnal Green. It's the return of our action-packed knockout tournament. It is the Super Middleweights. Welcome along. It's the first ever Prizefighter in a division made famous by the likes of Chris Eubank, Nigel Benn and Steve Collins. Who could forget how much excitement they generated down the years, but who'll make the sparks fly tonight? Johnny Nelson and Glenn McCrory reckon the combination of speed and power should give us an exciting evening. It's almost time for the action to begin. Adam Smith sets it up.
8 more prize fighters enter battle, and if the super middleweights provide the kind of intense duels that the fearless super bantamweights gave us last time, we're in for another treat.
We've got a good show to go on. The super bantamweights was brilliant, so we've all got to fight our hearts out because we want to be better than them.
First up is the youngest ever prize fighter entrant. 19-year-old danger man Patrick Mendy tackles the experienced Sam Horton.
I'm going to go out there and give it my best shot. Come back. I know victorious at the end of the day. That trophy's fantastic. I wouldn't mind that over my mantelpiece at all back at home.
Former amateur standout Daniel Cadman will enjoy big support against decent, skillful Eddie McIntosh.
I think my speed's going to help me a lot in this competition, in and out. I can throw the power shots when I want to as well, and that will help me. My get out of trouble card is my power.
Unbeaten Welsh novice Jeff Evans could be the surprise package, but he must deal with the power of Sheffield's Peter Fedorenko.
Just going to use my boxing ability, my boxing brain. I can stand and trade if need be, so I'll just have to get in and figure him out when I'm in there.
In the final quarter-final, solid English champion Paul David tackles Plymouth puncher Carl Drake.
There's some guys who's in it for like an easy payday, some guys in it to win. I'm one of the guys that's in it to win.
2 super middleweight legends, Steve Collins and Nigel Benn, have been involved in the build-up, and they can't wait for another thrilling prize fighter instalment.
Just go all out. Just keep punching. As long as you're hitting him, he's not going to hit you.
You've got no to say, well, you leave something, you got to empty it, clean yourself out, empty your tank, just go for it, because you might not have another chance.
It's the quarter-final lineup for you then. Patrick Mendy, Sam Horton, Daniel Cadman, Eddie McIntosh, Jeff Evans against Peter Fedorenko, and Carl Drake against Paul David. Glenn, a good lineup, a glamour division.
It's a great division, it always has been. And I think, what the super middleweights have is they've got speed and they've also got power. And these are very evenly matched, so I think they've all got a chance to win. Everybody's in there with a shout, and it's who wants it the most going to win.
Shame it's just come a little bit too late for the likes of Ben and Eubank and Collins.
Of course, those guys set the 90s on fire, and really everybody's going to try and compare themselves to them. It was a good mix. They had fighters of the same ability to fight each other, which created exciting fights.
Okay, let's get the bookies due. Dale Tempest ringside with Ed Robinson.
Well, an exciting lineup as always. Dale, who are the favourites though?
Normally Prizefighter gives an indication with the betting exactly the hierarchy, how things stand. It doesn't tonight. We've got 6 boxers within 3 points of each other. Quite incredible.
But who are the punters backing? Where's the smart money going?
Well, the money's come for Paul David at the top. There was 4-1 into 3-1 favourite. Patrick Mendy only 19 but 7-2. Big expectations there. Sam Horton at 5s along with McIntosh. Evans and Drake there at 6s. Then 14s and 20s the other 2.
Who's your pick?
Well, our biggest loss tonight isn't in the outright market, it's actually on Name the Finalists. Mendy and David, 11-2 named the finalists. Both camps talking their guys up. That's where we've seen all the money.
But it really is wide open.
It is wide open. Good luck if you're having a little flutter tonight. The youngest of our prize fighters is in our first quarter-final.
It's a chance for me. I gotta take it to hand. I gotta go there, give everything. I just want to step in the ring. Just show me what you got. I just attack them. If they drop their guard, I just go for destroy. I'm hunting, and if I catch, that's another story. I'll make sure that the public will never, ever see this kind of prize fighter in their life. It's gonna be the best. We'll make it the best.
I've been given the chance, and it's my chance to go out there and prove it. I can go and fight for bigger and better things. I'm throwing, say, 100 shots in the first round. I'll be throwing 100 shots in the second, and I'll be throwing 100 shots in the third. So all my fights have been the same. It's going to be pure class boxing, and that's all they're going to see from me. No one really know. It was really worrying me, to be honest. I'll go out there and do my thing and perform on the night and win. do believe I'm going to come away with that trophy. That's what I want to show my daughter.
That's young Patrick Mendy, only 19 years old, was a top amateur in his native Ghana. He's the bookies' favourite in this one, 6-4 on against Sam Horton, the bus driver from the Midlands, 11-10 with the bookies. Sit back, enjoy the action with up to 5 times the picture quality in high definition right here on Sky Sports HD1. It's also available in standard definition over on Sky Sports 1. Your commentary team, Jim Watt and Adam Smith, after our MC, John McDonald.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome indeed to the legendary York Hall Bethnal Green. Barry Hearn for Matchroom Sport, the home of the Prizefighter series, proudly presents the Prizefighters in the super middleweight division. Sponsored here by partycasino.com and Lonsdale. We are live and exclusive on Sky Sports HD. This is the Prizefighter series. All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control here at ringside. Shooting charge, Robert Smith and John Handler. Ladies and gentlemen, our officials this evening, Richie Davis of All Hallows, Mark Green of Romford, Marcus McDonald of Twickenham, and referee in quarterfinal number 1 from Gillingham is Mr. Ian John Lewis. They are the officials. Time now to meet the prize fighters. Quarterfinal number 1, introducing to you firstly, fighting out of the red corner wearing the blue trunks trimmed with white. Weighing in at 12 stone, 1 pound, 12 ounces, 17 fight record, 15 wins, 2 inside the scheduled distance, and just 2 defeats. He's from Stourbridge. Please welcome Sam Horton! And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the silver and black trunks and weighing in at 12 stone, 1 pound, 9 ounces, 9 fight record, 5 wins and 4 defeats. He is the youngest ever prize fighter. Ladies and gentlemen, from Maidenhead, it's the young tiger, Patrick Mendy! Timekeeper bell is Ray Rice. Our referee is Mr. Ian John Lewis. This is 3 3-minute rounds, quarterfinal number 1.
I'm the referee. Obey my command at all times. You both know the rules. Watch the heads, kick them punches up. And when I shout break, you break clean. Shake hands.
An excited, quirky lineup for the first stab that the super middleweights get at Prizefighter. Opportunity knocks for 8 boxers, all shapes and sizes, and one name could really emerge tonight. Some in the trade feel that might be Patrick Mendy, this man, top quality amateur with Gambia, who's settled here in Berkshire. He's a handful. Good match in the first quarter-final against the more experienced Sam Horton from the Black Country. He's won 15 of 17. Big shots from Mendy.
Yeah, Mendy forcing the taste straight away. He's a little bit ungainly at times, but it's not easy to deal with. Throws punches from unusual angles. He's leading with the uppercut and landing with it. He's knocked Horton right out of his stride in the first minute here.
An extremely confident character, Mendy. Good in the unpaid ranks. He's been matched hard as a pro so far and says he'll be too hard for these prize fighters. Blood from the nose of Horton already.
Yeah, good upper body movement from Mendy. Switching to southpaw now. He's just trying to see how many problems they can pose Horton with in the early stages, but Horton hasn't settled. Mendy not allowing him to settle.
Horton is coming off a devastating 5th round defeat to James DeGale, who's watching from the front row tonight. Big shots from Mendy, could take him out right here. Ian John Lewis has a good look at Sam Horton.
He's got to stop the fight, Adam. There's no standing count. He's got to stop the fight. He's got to stop it. He's no choice.
He didn't let it off, but it is. That's it. A little unclear from the referee, but that's a first round victory for Pat Patrick Mendy, who did look fiery, didn't he?
Well, the first thing you want in Prizefighter is the victory to get you into the next round. The second thing you want is a quick victory which keeps the tank nice and full. Mendy already one of the favourites, so that's done his case no harm whatsoever. I like the confidence he brought in, I like the way he started as soon as the opening bell sounded. Not for 1 second did he allow Horton to settle. Tremendous result, tremendous performance, tremendous result for Patrick Mendy.
Cool Mendy in the corner after an explosive opening session, and Horton just got caught and paid the penalty.
See, at this stage he was being pummeled without reply. If the referee steps in and there's not been a knockdown, then he has to stop the fight because we don't have any standing count. But you can see Horton was all over the place, Mendy teeing off on him, and okay, by this time his head is probably cleared, but too late, the damage had been done. And what a tremendous performance, and the confidence that Mendy showed was commendable. Just didn't stop throwing punches there until the referee did step in.
What a start to Prizefighter, the super middleweights, with a first round stoppage. Horton devastated, he's on his way home to the Black Country. Patrick Mendy advances through.
Ladies and gentlemen, timekeeper Ray Rice has recorded a time of 1 minute and 32 seconds of the first round. Referee Mr. Ian John Lewis has stopped the contest with Horton in no position to continue. Therefore, your winner and through to semi-final number 1. It's the Tiger, Patrick Mendy!
We promised some excitement, didn't we? And we promised an exciting youngster by the name of Patrick Mendy, 19 years of age, and he's got off to a flyer in Prizefighter. He's ringside with Ed Robinson.
Well, Patrick, was that the perfect start for you?
Oh, no, today, after the other ones, I'm going to keep them, because this one, I know that I'm going to knock him first time, so I'll keep everything for the second.
Was it a fair stoppage?
Oh, yeah, the first stoppage, yeah. Because I promised them, when I went for the interview and stuff like that, I said I'm going to stop them now. Before, when I start my boxing, I don't want to stop them, because if I stop them, I'll get no fight. So, you know, for this one, I'll knock them out.
How confident are you of winning the whole tournament?
Man, I have full 100% confidence in this fight, because I train hard and I'm ready for it. As I always say, I live for boxing. I'm not fighting for the money. It's not for the money, but for the win. I want to win, and, you know, I want to make my career go forward.
Well done, well done.
Well, judging by how his odds have changed over the last day or so, a lot of money has gone on Patrick Mendy, and you can see why, Johnny Nelson. You like the look of him.
Houston, we have a problem. I like what he said. I liked how he carried himself. I like how he did the attack, southpaw attack. His opponent couldn't deal with it. And what he said is, I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it for the win. Nice and calm. The youngest man in the tournament came out with speed. It was his first ever stoppage, unorthodox shots. Brilliant.
First impressions of Patrick Mendy?
I thought he was very good, a little unorthodox, which I think suits this sort of competition, because Horton didn't know where the punches were coming from. I thought it was a little bit premature, the stoppage, to be honest. I thought Horton should be feel a bit aggrieved, but nothing to take away from Mendy. He did everything right. He went out there. Horton allowed himself to get hit with some silly shots and the head knocked back. Look, he looks at the referee there. He's more embarrassed than badly hurt. But, you know, you can't afford to get hit with clean punches like that, eye-catching punches.
Well, look how Mendy did his work. Walked onto him, slapped his Horton's jab out of the way, then dropped from that southpaw stance and made it so awkward for him, and did not stop the shots. Every angle, every opening, he took advantage of it until the referee jumped in. The referee had to jump in because Horton was in it.
Was it not a bit premature, though, Glenn, that?
Yeah, I thought it was premature. I thought, you know, were we getting the standing count, or was he just stopping it, you know? I don't know. It was premature. I thought he could go on. He looked at the referee straight away and smiled, but he did. He was reckless to be allowed to get hit that many times.
Well, that's why the referee stopped it, because he was shipping at least 5 or 6 shots. Had to be stopped. He'd have got hurt.
19-year-old Patrick Mendy through to the semi-final of Prizefighter, the super middleweights. Who will join him? Could it be Daniel Cabman from Cheshunt? He takes on Eddie McIntosh from Birmingham next in our second quarter-final of Prizefighter. Welcome back to Prizefighter, the super middleweights. Here's one to look forward to. Friday fight night, South Yorkshire homecoming for European bantamweight champion Jamie McDonnell as he takes on Rodrigo Bracco of Italy. That's live from Doncaster, Friday night, Sky Sports HD2, Sky Sports 2 from 10 o'clock. Time for the second of our quarterfinals and two men who love a tear-up.
I'm a bit of an all-action sort of fighter. I put everything into every shot. I've been training just to go in here and have a tear-up. You've got to be fit, you've got to be strong, you've got to be confident, and I've got all that. I'm the local lad, they're going to be behind me more than anyone else, so I've got to go and give them value for money. It's my world title fight. I've got to go out there and do the best I can. Can go one way or the other, so you've got to give it your best shot.
I mean, this Prizefighter is the next level for me. It's the next step up. All the lads are just going to be going in there and just going for the big bombs and the fast work in and out. You can't really stand on your back foot and try and pick your punches. You've got to just go for it. I believe I can win it, yeah. As long as I believe I can win it, then I think I can win it. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, say I'm the best, but I'm going to go in there to win. That's the main thing. I'm not going in there to mess about.
There's Daniel Cadman, 30-year-old, nicknamed Mr. Slick. He's a cabbie, personal trainer as well. Had a red-hot amateur career, but hasn't turned that into a successful pro career so far. 5-2 shot with the bookmakers. Taking on Eddie McIntosh, wears Scottish, Irish and English flags on his shorts to keep the family happy. His dad's Scottish, his mum Irish, and he's English, of course. And will he be successful in this one? Who will face Patrick Mendy in the first of our semi-finals? Our MC is John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the action. This is quarterfinal number 2 in the Prizefighter series in the super middleweight division. Introducing to you firstly, fighting under the red corner, wearing the multicoloured trunks and weighing in 12 stone, 1 pound 13 ounces, 11 fight record, 10 wins, 2 inside. The scheduled distance and just 1 defeat. He is the former British Masters champion. Ladies and gentlemen from Birmingham, would you please welcome return of the Eddie McIntosh! And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with pink, weighing in 12 stone, 1 pound 10 ounces. 15 fight record, 11 wins, 3 inside, the scheduled distance and only 4 defeats. He's from Chesson. Please welcome Daniel Time king of the belt is Mr. Ray Rice. Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Richie Davis, and this is 3-minute rounds, quarterfinal number 2.
Okay, fellas, you both know what I expect of you. Behave yourselves, do as you're told, and above all, defend yourselves at all times. Good luck to you both. Shake hands.
Plenty of support here for Cheshunt's amiable cabbie, Daniel Cadman. He was once a hot prospect, having honed his skills with a famous Repton club. Hasn't gone smoothly in a while, but he's told us he'll give it everything tonight. He might need to. First up for Cadman is the useful Eddie McIntosh from Birmingham, who's only lost 1 in 11, but that was last time out. What happens next? Richie Davis already trying to tidy it up. McIntosh was telling us that speed will win him through this evening. Cadman says he'll give it a right old go.
Well, impressive burst of punching from Cadman there. Just planted his feet and let them roll. I think they're both just maybe a little bit over-eager to get down to business here over the 3 rounds. Richie Davis trying to keep it tidy. But really good solid punching from Cadman. He seems to have shaken McIntosh up again.
Winging in the hooks. Buoyed up by this crowd. Daniel Cadman, who says he's got absolutely nothing to lose tonight. No one's expecting him to win. Not a bad start. Good body shot.
Well, Cadman's been a pro for 7 years. He's had some time off in between times, but really has to get his career going, and winning Prizefighter will certainly do that. Hasn't been too active recently, but no signs of ring rust. He's right down to business.
It's a moment more of a professional look about Cadman, maybe physically stronger. McIntosh with a style that's based on skills, and just caught in the storm, maybe fighting the wrong fight. Lovely right hand from Cadman, and that shook McIntosh.
Cadman's the one who can put the flashy bursts of punches together. McIntosh trying to do it with single powerful shots, but he's been outworked, and we've seen some impressive work from Cadman in the opening round. Still both maybe just showing a little bit too much enthusiasm. Good left hook again from Cadman.
Not quite sure it's the techniques he learned at Repton, Daniel Cadman, as he walks into a right hand. Bit more barroom brawl tonight. The fans are loving it.
And McIntosh kind of rubbing his head in there. I think he feels safer up close, McIntosh. He's been shaken a couple of times, so maybe a little bit wary of the power that Cadman has shown.
Trying to get his own artillery home, McIntosh, but it's missing that.
Yeah, good defensive work there from Cadman.
Whips a body shot in, a bit late though. Richie Davis again has a word with him. An energy-sapping opening round to this second quarter-final.
No, he just bundled them down. No question of a count. But this is taking a lot out of both men. Tremendous opening round.
And it is very hot in here in the York Hall tonight too, draining.
Oh, straight down to business, both of them, but the better punching in the opening round seemed to come from Cadman. He put his punches together, balanced himself well, get his feet set to head and body, and so often we saw McIntosh been forced to grab hold just to survive. Just almost touched down with that punch, come back with a good right hand of his own, but Cadman came through it. And really, McIntosh looked a little bit disjointed in the opening round.
Good first 3 minutes of action, and 3-1. McIntosh, a narrow favourite. It's closer now, 11-10 against on Daniel Cadman, who was a big outsider before this.
See, I think the 3 rounds, sometimes the fighters just get a little bit too fired up. You have to think what you're doing here. It's still boxing. It's not just a case of swinging punches. Lovely right hand from Cadman.
They put that combination together well, Daniel Cadman. Breezed onto the scene, and we were quite excited about him for a while. McIntosh, free in uncharted territory, never fought outside Birmingham, and Cadman with a countering shot. No knockdown call there.
Well, he certainly bundled it to the floor, but a couple of decent punches landed just before that, and if Richie Davis wanted a count, there's an argument he could have done there. There was a good body shot and a good head shot just before they crumbled to the floor. But again, he's pushing himself close to Cadman. I think he feels safer in there. At arm's length, he's been hurt.
Good body shot from Cadman and an uppercut. There's a touch of class too with a chiseled man.
Yet really showing some quality in his work, Cadman. Again, bursts of punches, not the single shots. Still that disjointed look about McIntosh's work, just trying to do it with single shots, kind of swinging punches. See, again, he's pushing Cadman back. I think he feels much safer up close. At long range, he's been outboxed and he's been shaken a couple of times.
Was knocked out in his last fight, Eddie McIntosh, by Carl Drake, who's coming up in the second half of the draw tonight. And reddened around the shoulders. Tough for him in that.
Yeah, doing a little bit of spoiling up close, McIntosh. He just doesn't seem to have the confidence that Cadman's showing. So you can see Cadman's kind of with that annoyed look on his face, the way McIntosh is pushing up against him all the while, not allowing him to work.
Just a deep breath from Cadman, who said he's trained very hard for Prizefighter, and said he hadn't at times earlier in his career. It's a hard first assignment for the pair of them, Jim, already.
Yep, this is really, and the heat that you've already mentioned, it's a energy-sapping way to go about your business. McIntosh doing a little bit better, but not really quality work. He seems more intent in not allowing Cadman to produce that smooth boxing we saw in the previous round.
Heads banging in together. A physical, almost grueling couple of rounds. Cadman just occasionally with the classier bursts.
Well, he's producing the better work when he gets the chance, but McIntosh hasn't really given him the chance in this round. This has been messy down to the tactics of McIntosh.
Good finish from McIntosh. These two knocking lumps out of each other. And Patrick Mendy, who's waiting backstage, won't mind that one little bit. He only went to work for a minute and a half. Fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, and he worked at his own pace too, didn't waste any punches. That was a tremendous performance. These two are the opposite, using up all sorts of steam. I think McIntosh will be pleased. The result he was looking for was to take the smoothness away from Cadman. He managed to do that, not with quality boxing, I'm sorry to say. Not much, as far as clean punches landed on target, not much to split them that round because it was a little bit messy. So things that could very well hinge on the third and last round here.
Over double punches landed from Daniel Cadman. Certainly took the first session second closer. And the bookies, they've got Cadman now, the odds-on favourite 2-1 on. Remember, he was 5-2 against just a few minutes ago.
Richie Davis again trying to get him to tidy things up. Better start to this round from McIntosh, but again he's up close. I'm surprised Richie Davis hasn't been on his case about the holding up close. He's taken the initiative though in the last round here.
Big drive from McIntosh. I'm sure Len Woodall in the corner has told him he needs a barnstorming finish here if he's going to progress. But Cadman bullying him in there. Does walk into an uppercut. This is a better Daniel Cadman than I thought we'd see. 20-1 outsider before it started.
Yeah, he's looked nice and compact, but he's not being allowed. You have to give McIntosh a little bit of credit. I mean, his style's a bit of a mess a lot of the time, but he's not allowing Cadman to give him the room to work. That was better from Cadman.
He's hurt now, Jim. He's hurt. McIntosh back on the ropes. Cadman knows he's got the dig.
See, that is the reason McIntosh is pushing up against him, spoiling, not allowing him to work. Because any time Cadman gives room to produce, he does so, and he produces quality punches.
Oh, he has to take a knee. McIntosh, and this time he will be counted. Correct from Richie Davis. And that could be curtains for Eddie McIntosh. He's got a minute and 20 seconds to do something about it. Daniel Cadman coming out of nowhere to make his intention clear in Prizefighter.
I think Cadman really has boxed well. I think in a different kind of fight we would see that quality a little bit more. I think McIntosh's tactics have been mainly to spoil, not allow him to work, and then just try to wing the punches. So lovely uppercut from Cadman. Good action on this one. I mean, there's never been a dull moment, that's for sure.
Targeting the body now as well. Cadman, McIntosh worked very hard in the Woodall gym. Just hasn't really got into a rhythm. It's been difficult. Commitment aplenty.
Yeah, well, McIntosh is going for broke now. I think, like us, he realises he has to do that. But this is where Cadman takes over at long range when he has that little bit of time and room to work. But this has taken a lot out of both.
Sometimes that's the difference between winning and losing in the semi-final. Good left hand from McIntosh. Nice riposte. Scrappy at times, but hard fought and compelling at others. The second quarter final is over. There's the respect between them, and for us, it's Daniel Cadman.
Yeah, well, I think the knockdown just put it beyond Eddie McIntosh's reach. Couldn't have given it any more, but it couldn't match Cadman. But there you see that the stats strongly favouring Cadman, and if you add the knockdown to that, then he really should be going through to the next round.
280 punches thrown in 9 minutes. That's what Prizefighter's all about.
See, that was a good right hand there, and shaking. You see the legs are a little bit unsteady there. Just kind of lost his way a little bit. I get the impression maybe he went down onto his knees for safety, just to get away from the punches, and if that's the case, then you have to call it a knockdown. I mean, you can't intentionally go onto your knees and not expect it to be declared a count. So it was a good call from the referee, and you can see he can't cope with the attacks. He's been clubbed around the side of the head, so bona fide knockdown, which really should put it out of his reach. He's complaining, but I don't think he has a right to do.
3 judges at ringside for these. A smile on the face of Daniel Cadman, and he'll be making a lot of people happy here in Bethnal Green if he gets a decision. Eddie McIntosh looks as though he knows. Still they wait in agonising moments. This all or nothing competition that they've worked so hard for.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. After 3 rounds of boxing, the judges' scorecard reads 29-27, 29-28, 29-28. All 3 judges are in favour of the winner. And through to semi-final number 1. From Cheshunt, Daniel Cadman!
Daniel Cadman goes through to the semi-finals. What a story from the old amateur star.
Daniel Cadman, good support here at the York Hall in Bethnal Green. The man from Cheshunt, the cabbie, personal trainer. He also says that if he wins Prizefighter, he'll pay off a loan on his brand new cab. Let's hear from him now, talking to Ed.
Well, Daniel, through to the semis. How pleased are you with that performance?
I'm over the moon. Wanted to get that first one out of the way. Made things a little bit more awkward for myself now. Maybe I should have, but a win's a win at the end of the day. Just got to go down, have a nice rest, back out for the next round.
How much did it take out of you?
I've still got loads in the tank. Obviously, I look a bit tired, pushing and pulling each other about a little bit takes a lot out of you, but getting in there for the next round, sorry.
Patrick Mendy next, he's dangerous.
He's dangerous, but I'm dangerous as well. Everyone's dangerous in this competition, so don't let that judge what I'm going to do next.
Well done so far.
Still singing his name around the York Hall. It's hard work out there tonight. He deserved that victory. And we have our first semi-final lineup. He will take on Patrick Mendy, the 19-year-old, who is the red-hot favourite in that one to win. 6-1 on Daniel Cadman in the first semi-final, 7-2 against. It's a nice story. He had a good amateur career, never made it in the pros, and yet turns on a performance like that.
Well, he said before, this is his world title, this is his patch, he needs to perform. It was about fitness. I think McIntosh sort of was at the point about working him, but got into the habit of going on the floor, even when he wasn't here. And if you do that as a fighter, instinctively you'll do it when you put under pressure. And it worked. It worked well. It worked against him.
How do you assess that performance, Glenn?
I think it was a very good performance. Already we're seeing in both fights how much these fighters wanted, though, and I think that's because they are pretty evenly matched. Cadman, he pulled it out very well indeed there. You could just see he had the extra skills, the extra style. McIntosh just made it a bit too messy, and Cadman come out a good winner.
Take a quick break, but after that we'll have a chance to see a battle of the outsiders, including this man, Jeff Evans, the only Welshman in the tournament and the only person with an unbeaten record in this competition. He's next. Prizefighter, the super middleweights, live from the York Hall in Bethnal Green. Here's one to look forward to on Friday fight night, July the 9th. Lenny Dawes defends his British light welterweight title against Steve Williams. That's at 10 o'clock. Sky Sports HD2 and Sky Sports 2 as well. Third quarter-final in Prizefighter, and it features an unbeaten Welshman.
You know, I'm a boxer, but I've also got power as well. I've got plenty of art, plenty of bottle, I can take a shot, so I'm not worried of anyone, really. The glory is probably the main thing, having the glory of being the Prizefighter champion. You'll never be forgotten. Obviously the money and all the things that come with it, it's just a bonus, but I'm in it for the glory. I think I can win it, yeah, definitely.
I'm an aggressive, come-forward fighter, got a high work rate, plenty of power. Going to be looking to bring it all to the table. I really do want it, and I believe that I can win. I think my style will be as tricky as anybody else's, so no, I'm not worried about anybody. Nobody can predict exactly what's going to happen on the night, nobody knows. But I'm fit, I'm strong, I'm determined, and I'm ready.
Looks tough, doesn't he? So does this man, Jeff Evans, 27-year-old, nicknamed the Ponty Warrior, unbeaten so far. One punter has just had £3,500 on him to win. The odds, well, not too attractive, 3-1 on. He's the red-hot favourite in this one, taking on Sheffield's Peter Fedorenko, at a decade away from the ring before returning last year and claimed the unbeaten record of an opponent on that occasion. He's the outsider. Our MC is John McDonnell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the action. This is quarter-final number 3 in the Prizefighter series in the super middleweight division. Well, sponsored here by partycasino.com and Lonsdale. Now time to meet the Prizefighters. Introducing to you, firstly in fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with gold, weighing in at 11 stone, 13 pounds, 10 ounces. 7-fight record, 5 wins, 3 inside the scheduled distance, and just 2 defeats. From the still city of Sheffield, ladies and gentlemen, it's Peter Pedro Fedorenko! Across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with red, weighing in at 12 stone, 1 pound, 6 ounces. Undefeated, 3 contests, 3 wins. From Pontypool, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Evans! Timekeeper the bell is Ray Wright. Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Marcus McDonnell. This is 3 3-minute rounds, quarter-final, number 3.
Right, guys, you don't know the rules of boxing. Don't explain to you. One thing we will say, obey my instructions at all times, keep it clean. Any questions? Let's go to work, let's touch gloves.
This one could be lively. The Welsh novice Jeff Evans, rough, raw, but unbeaten still. He enters the fold. Could the 27-year-old Springer surprise? He kicks off the second half of the draw against a name from the past, Peter Fedorenko. Big puncher, but he's been away for about a decade. Out of the sport, what's left? Interesting, Jim.
Yeah, but strange to see fighters away for 10 years and come back again. I wonder what prompted that. But he come back with a decent win. And he's strong, he's mature, we know he's a puncher, and you can see the way he set himself up straight away. He's looking for strong punches, good left hook from him.
What a sharp start from Fedorenko. Was a heavy hitter in his past life, my life, on the back of those black and gold trunks. For the 32-year-old from the steel city of Sheffield.
Evans wants to come forward, but he's not showing the best of defences, and against a powerful puncher, he's taking some chances. Everyone wants to make a quick impression in this tournament. We have to show a little bit of care.
What about Evans? Crude, raw, but very, very strong. He turned to boxing late.
He's actually shut his eyes a couple of times as the Fedorenko's come forward. He bends down to the side, he's actually closed his eyes, so that's something you certainly don't want to be doing.
Yep, inexperience. The novice-y look already to Evans, and a harder one about Fedorenko, who's the better school boxer. Nice left hook.
Yep, good action-packed round. I think that the better quality shots so far have come from Fedorenko. With full credit to Evans, only 3 fights under his belt. But he's trying to initiate things, he's trying to get control. He's just making 1 or 2 mistakes.
It's a right hand and a left to follow, wasn't bad. Spurs Fedorenko on, who's really only a middleweight coming up. That was one thing he was worried about.
Both exchanging jabs there. See, both landing good shots, not an awful lot, and the amount of punches landed. Maybe the more powerful shots over the piece have been coming from Fedorenko, but not a lot to split. Well, this is an excellent opening round there. Fedorenko with that right hand again.
Yeah, Evans had a good spell for about a minute or so. A tight opener to this match, and a nice right hand from the Welshman. Tough session for the 3 judges to split, Jim.
Yeah, this has been an excellent opening round, both right down to business. No clinching, you'll notice, both in punching range for the full 3 minutes. I'm just leaning slightly towards Fedorenko for the quality of the work, but not a lot to split them.
Me too. Thought Fedorenko nicked it, but not much in that one.
You okay? Okay. Breathing.
I thought Fedorenko settled pretty quickly. A few times Evans leaving his chin up in the air, maybe just making some basic mistakes. I think the fact that everyone wants to start well in the opening round, because of the nature of this tournament, sometimes they make mistakes. Just tried too hard early, but that was an excellent opening round.
5-4 throw by Fedorenko, 1 more landed, very tight and absolutely dead level on the success rate too.
Okay, there's a chance here. Hands down, he's looking to draw you. Don't be drawn.
One of the best young trainers in Britain now, Gary Lockett, who had Ricky Owen in the super bantamweight contest and made a difficult decision after he won his semi-final to pull him out and save him for another day, emotionally drained in that one. All to fight for here between Jeff Evans and Peter Fedorenko. And the odds have tightened right up. Evans a narrow favourite, 15-8 on Fedorenko, 11-8 against. Wonder how that guy is who's got $3,000 on Evans, how he's feeling. Only his 4th outing, the 27-year-old from Pontypool, and the 8th for Peter Fedorenko, who turned way back in 1997.
Trying to keep things a bit more at long range in this round. Evans trying to get the jab working, not a bad plan, if he can stick with it. Fedorenko just posing a little bit at the moment. You would think the one with the power would be looking to set the pace a little bit more.
He's got 3 knockouts in his 5 wins, but obviously inactivity, rust, all of that could be a problem. Only 1 fight on the comeback trail. Good right hand from Evans, that was sharper.
Evans showing a little bit of grit here. He's answering everything that Fedorenko throws at him. He's looking a little bit more composed too in the second round. You can see him bending the knees there, just trying to measure out the jab. Yep, side-to-side movement as he goes forward. A bit more thought in Evans' boxing in the second round. Good right-hand lead from him.
Nice combinations, not as much success, accuracy from Fedorenko. Just being beaten to the punch by the younger and maybe hungrier man.
Fedorenko actually looking short of ideas in the second round here. Much more stationary target. He's walking on to everything at the moment. Good defence from Evans, good right hand.
Yep, he's taking control of this second, Jeff Evans.
Nice solid look about Evans' work now. He looked a bit novice-like in the opening round, as though he was losing his way here and there. But not the case now. Making Fedorenko miss and popping out the counters, not throwing any punishing punches, but that doesn't matter. Nice right hand.
Jim, it's so early for Evans. He's almost learning round by round here.
Well, a huge improvement in the second round from him. Keeping in mind the judges may have seen the first round for him because that was very, very close. But there's no doubt in my mind at the moment he's taken the second round.
Not as much from Fedorenko, who's got the experience of Howard Rainey in his corner, who took Colin McMillan to a world title.
Listen, you're just getting called with stupid shots every now and again because you're posing, all right? Listen, what's wrong with the feint and then the right hand? Every time you throw this right hand, you stagger him, all right? Yeah. Every time, bang, you stagger him. All he's doing, Jeff, he's just waiting for your mistakes. He can't throw a straight punch. So every time you throw your straight punches, you're sitting, you're making a miss.
Gary Lockett, good advice. He would have been a good prize fighter, wouldn't he, with his power?
Yeah, he'd have been value for money, yes. But good work. You can see he's thinking his way around the ring now, Evans. Fedorenko just seemed to run out of ideas, fall asleep a little bit. You just see, just couldn't get started in the second round.
Enjoy it.
Just leave it all in the ring. Don't go out thinking I could have done more. Let's give it everything, Sam. Everything. Use the jab to get inside it.
And he is like a son. Peter Fedorenko adores Howard Rainey, who's helped turn his life around. Real stalwart from Sheffield, Howard. Can Fedorenko have a good finish? Probably needs it. Good right hand. That'll give him some confidence. And again, Fedorenko woken up.
Well, his corner sent him out, telling him, don't feel you could have put more into it, give it everything in the last round. They obviously feel that we do. It's pretty close here. They can't keep that momentum. And back to posing again, Fedorenko. This is the pace that suits Evans. He's the boxer. He likes time to think what he's doing.
And he's the fresher man as well. Full-time welder and fabricator, who works 9 to 5 and then drives a long way to the gym. It's a full-on day, 24/7 for Jeff Evans. Might be fitter as well.
Well, he's managing to keep things at long range now. Evans, nice, making Fedorenko miss with his lead. Popping the counters, not looking for power, just looking to find the target, popping punches, but they're counting.
Minute and a half. Fedorenko was desperate to take the trophy for his two boys, Josh and Theo.
Well, he came out in a storm for the first few seconds, Fedorenko, but didn't keep it going. Just a nice right-hand lead from Evans. I feel that Fedorenko really has to raise the tempo here. He's allowing Evans to box, and that's what he's good at.
The odd bit of success with the right hand from Fedorenko, but in patches, a bit like his boxing career's been. And a right hand from Evans, who may be able to close the show. The rounds have been close.
Well, particularly the opening round, the second round, I don't think there's any question. Evans was the better man, so it's how the judges saw the first one and this one. And I feel that Evans is just beginning to nick this one as well. Another round, not a lot to split them. But Fedorenko missing a field hit.
We had a stack of tight decisions last time with the super bantamweights. Evans' stablemate Ricky Owen in the best fight of that night against Gavin Reed. Just hasn't pulled the trigger quite enough, Fedorenko.
No, this is a fight you wouldn't argue about, but I see it for Evans.
Maybe the younger man, the more conditioned, and the one on the way up. On the computer, he's landed 9 more, and I think he moves through, Jim.
Yeah, well, you have a couple of really close rounds, so Evans has to win one of those to go through, or at least one of those. I don't see any question. He did win the second round pretty clearly. So there we have it. Fedorenko, the opening round. I give the next two to Evans, although they were close. But I expect this young fellow to go through.
How cool do you think that big backing punter's feeling at home?
Yeah, well, maybe a little bit cooler. We're probably making him feel at ease a little bit. This was a good start from Fedorenko. He was throwing the better punches. It was a close round, but his work had more of an authority about it. But in the second round, he posed too much. Too often we saw him on the end of these long punches. He started the third round very well with a real bang, but didn't sustain it. Gone back to posing again. And just little popping punches coming back from Evans. Another excellent match.
We could have a split, who knows?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we have a split decision. Judge Richie Davis scores the contest 28-27 in favour of Fedorenko. Judge Ian John Lewis scored the contest 29-28 in favour of Evans. Judge Mark Green scores the contest 29-28 in favour of the winner and through to semi-final number 2. From Pontypool, it's Jeff Evans!
The 3 grand was well spent. Jeff Evans nicks it on a split decision. His fans delighted. The trip from Wales not ruined. Poor Peter Fedorenko goes home. It was so tight. Ed Robinson will have a word with Jeff now.
Well, Jeff, still unbeaten. Did that all go to plan?
I wouldn't say quite the plan, but I got through it, so yeah, there's a plan if he wins.
What gave you the edge in the end?
I don't know, I think I was just a bit more angry. To be honest, I should have boxed him a bit more classy from the start, but I tend to want to get into wars, and I fell into that trap straight away, so Gary told me to get back to my boxing. When I did, I was paying off. When I let myself lose concentration, that's when I was getting my caught, you know, so, but wouldn't 100%, but it's the first one out the way.
You're very inexperienced, so do you feel you'll get better as the tournament goes on?
Definitely, the fitness is there, so yeah, I think I will, yeah. I know.
Well done so far.
Imagine the emotions when they say a split decision. You've got 3.5 grand riding on the outcome, Johnny Nelson.
I would have done that. I would have put so much money on it for so little return.
Did you see it as tight as that?
Yes, I think Fedorenko took the first round because of his experience. He had that strength to try and split the punches and get in. And then Evans kept it long, boxed him smart, and I think he ran away with the last 2 rounds, did the right things, kept out of the way. Fedorenko just didn't have that trigger reaction to catch up to Evans.
Did you see Evans nicking it there?
I do. I think Fedorenko could have done with a few more fights on his comeback. It looked, the inactivity had made its mark, but I think Evans just warmed into the fight. Started to get better as the fight went on. He's doing really well for somebody who's so inexperienced.
Okay, up next, the tournament favourite, Paul David, in a battle of the Danger Men and our 4th quarter-final. Friday fight night on July the 16th. This should be exciting. Matthew Hatton hopes to continue his hot streak. Hatton making the first defence of his European welterweight title against Yuri Nizhnenko. We're live from Bolton Arena. That's 10 o'clock on Sky Sports HD1 and over on Sky Sports 1 as well. Prizefighter, the super middleweights continues. It's the last of our quarter-finals. It features the bookies' favourite.
My style is pretty high work rate, which is good for the 3-3 rounds. Come out strong, throwing a lot of shots to sort of get the rounds in the bank, and obviously if the stoppage comes, all the better. It's nice to have the exposure, nice to be recognised for being on the show, and obviously everyone's going to try and make a statement. It's going to be fast, and there's some big punches out there as well. It's going to be explosive, and I think it's going to be exciting for the audience.
Flashy, fast, power punches, combinations. You get me? That's why they call me Sweet Pea. I've got the fitness, I've got the movement, I've got the jabs, I've got the power, I've got all the physical advantages, so it's just up to me right now. This is a great opportunity, and I'm ready to claim the top prize. It's going to be a good night, that's all I know. Paul David's going to take down this Prizefighter in style.
There's Carl Drake. Heavy-handed puncher from Plymouth, the oldest of our prize fighters at 35 years old. He's the outsider in this one, 2-1 with the bookmakers. And here is the bookmakers' favourite, the favourite for the tournament as well, Paul David, a real danger man. Our MC is John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the action. This is quarterfinal number 4. Introducing to you firstly, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks trimmed with blue, weighing in at 12 stone and 2 pounds, a 14-fight record. 10 wins, 4 inside the scheduled distance, and just 4 defeats. He is the reigning English super middleweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, from Northampton, it's Paul David! And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with white, weighing in at 12 stone and 10 ounces. 11-fight record, 5 wins, 4 inside the scheduled distance, 5 defeats and 1 draw. From Plymouth, it's Carl Drake! Timekeeper at the bell from Kingston upon Thames is Mr. Nick White, and our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Mark Green. This is 3 3-minute rounds, quarter-final, number 4.
Gentlemen, you're both professional boxers. I tell you to break, you break quickly, you break cleanly. Apart from that, you protect yourselves at all times. Shake hands, gents, 3-3s.
Final quarter-final featuring the strong veteran puncher Carl Drake. Wild, woolly, and absolutely nothing to lose here, but he's in with the confident and buoyant English champion, Paul David, and every reason for him to be good form, tested with decent opposition, and could be the one to watch tonight. He's got a bit of class about him, Jim.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's won 10 of 14, but when you look at some of the matches he's found himself in, that is a bit of an achievement. He's been match tough, he's learning this business the hard way, and he's hard himself. He's also slick, he has power, so he's entitled to be the favourite tonight.
In his first year as a pro, he pushed Brian McGee right to the wire. McGee, the European champion, who's ringside tonight and has offered to take on the winner of Prizefighter in the autumn. Good left hand, though, from Drake, who can bang.
And that just seemed to steady David for a second there. I don't know if it shocked him or steadied him, but there was certainly a reaction. He's not thinking about defence, David, which is dangerous. He wants to keep this at long range. Some of the Brendan Ingle fighters leave their hands low so as they can see everything that's happening in front of them. But once in a while you can get caught out doing that, and that's what happened there. But he's outboxing Drake at long range in between times. Good right hand.
Got to watch the flying fist, though, of Drake. 4 knockouts in his 5 wins. Can be stopped himself, was last time out by Carl Dilks. Not a big banger, David, but he should have the skills and the experience he's picked up in sparring top names to deal with Drake.
Just taking chances defensively, David. He's boxing well, moving around the ring, not allowing Drake to get too close or set himself. But just now and again, the defence little lapse. There's another instance there.
Has been out of the ring, David, since December 2008 as he lands an uppercut on the advancing Drake.
That is the ideal punch for a fighter who's walking straight forward, but landing the jab as well. Well, the main thing is he doesn't allow Drake into range too often, and that's worked pretty much for him in the opening round.
Snaps in a couple of right hands.
Just maybe a hint of the inside of the glove with those two, the way he curved the punches in. But the effect of stopping Drake, he's marched forward.
He's always been an awkward and largely avoided customer, Paul David. The one worry is whether the 3-round format would suit him.
Yeah, well, I think so, because he gives everyone problems straight away in his fights, and I think the reason it's hard to get to match him, you know, there's no reward in beating Paul David, and he's a hard night's work for anyone. There's always the chance he could beat you, and he's beginning to take charge towards the end of the round here.
Yep, skills prevailing for most of that opener. Hard commitment from Drake.
Some more. Right, now listen.
Yeah.
You're walking in straight lines.
This is the beauty about Prizefighter. You never know.
Yeah, but well, Drake landed enough solid shots to keep himself interested in this one. A few times David has offered him the target, and he's been quite glad to take advantage of it. But you have to say he was outboxed for the most part of that round. Some of David's punching may have been the inside of the glove, but enough of them were quality shots.
Please, call with left hook, okay? So don't throw one shot in there. Boom, 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 boom.
The punches thrown from David, and 3 times as many landed in that first. The eye-catching one was from Drake, but I'm sure the round was given to Paul David. Here's the second session. Final quarter-final, white and blue of Paul David from Northampton and Plymouth's Carl Drake. He was coming at fairly short notice, but was really revved up about it at the weigh-in. He's got a big challenge on the bookmakers' odds, though. 8-1 on David.
A punch landed there, but I think David's foot got caught in the advertising hoarding, caused him to slip. So from the back of the hall, that may have looked like a little bit of drama, but it wasn't quite.
David, who is the English champion, courtesy of a 7th round stoppage of Tyrone Wright. Just throwing Drake around. He says he's never been out of the gym in that last year and a half, sparring with all those in the Sheffield factory under the Ingle charge.
Well, his movement's good, his timing's good, technique's decent. Just now and again there's that defensive lapse again, and one follows it with another one.
And that's making it exciting for the fans here. Can Drake land a big juicy shot to wobble the favourite of Prizefighter?
Well, Drake has taken the smoothness out of David's boxing a bit more. He's trying to come forward. Now that's what he should be doing. He should be walking in towards Drake, take the momentum away and take some of the power away. Some showboating now.
Body shot from David went in. Switch hitting. There's an ungainly style that we've seen on the circuit, and worsening damage under the right eye for Drake, who just looks as though the tank might be emptying already.
That was another nice uppercut. And it can be a bit sickening when your punches are falling short or missing and you're being pinned by uppercuts. There goes the same punch. So those, as I say, can be sickening punches, and the nosebleed, which interferes with the breathing. So not good times at the moment for Carl Drake.
Facial damage as David begins to tee off on Drake, catching him with many more punches in this second round. Good jabbing too.
Just like to see be sure that the left fist is completely closed when David throws those jabs. Step in with it a little bit more. He's kind of cuffing, almost backhanding with it at times, but not allowing Drake to come up with much.
It's the crude brawler advancing, who's being outclassed by the slickster, based in Sheffield, but very much from Northampton. It's good work, this, from David.
Yeah, but he's working at his own pace again.
Jeff Evans awaiting the winner of this and taking a few minutes to relax. Not easy. What would you be doing backstage? In warming up, just chilling out?
No, just chilling out. You can't really rehydrate too much, being that you're going to box again. You don't want to be punched in the stomach if you've been drinking and so forth. So just relax and maybe work out your tactics for the winner of the next one.
Use your jab. When you see he's
Plenty more
stepping that body shot.
from Paul David. He's got Dominic Ingle there in the corner with him as always.
And he throws it over and right,
And he's
he's stepping out
12 to 1 on, so Drake needs one big haymaker if he's going to turn this around.
Just warming up. Don't get shot. Yeah. Remember, crooked lines, man, yeah? That's right.
Final session of the final quarter-final. Is this the final instalment for Plymouth's brave Carl Drake, who's been busted up now by Paul David, who's promised everyone that will listen to him he wins this, and he walks into one there, Drake. Just bewildered now.
Yeah, just turned him with the punch there. You can see the confidence now. David putting a little bit more spite into his punches.
Good uppercut, as you were saying earlier, the perfect punch for the shorter man coming in.
Well, full credit to Drake. He's not stopped trying, but his punches don't have any effect when they do land. There's that uppercut again.
Oh, beautiful shot from David, fight over. Bad fall for Carl Drake, knocked out, straight on his side, and the medics will tend to him, and Paul David rightfully will just mute his celebrations. The class was really beginning to tell over the last few minutes, and that was a peach of a punch. And at the moment, our attention goes to Carl Drake.
Yeah, he went down rather heavily. That was the punch we mentioned a couple of times, and that was as painful an uppercut as he's thrown tonight. He's on his side. He wants to get up, but as a precaution, they want to keep him down, just make sure everything's okay. So the signs are good, thankfully. I think fighters hate being kept on the floor. I think it's more embarrassment than anything else, although there's nothing embarrassing about being knocked out. It's happened to some tremendous fighters over the years, and they're the crowd responding to this man's courage. Tremendous courage he showed for the 2.5 rounds this lasted. He was just out of his depth a little bit against the tournament favourite.
Yeah, second stoppage defeat in a row for Paul Carl Drake, but what a shot.
Yeah, well, David always had the look as though he could completely take charge whenever he decided, and it was as though he decided there. I mean, that really was a scorcher of a punch, and it landed bang on the chin. Sometimes the uppercuts land full in the face or land maybe on the nose, but that one landed bang on the chin, and you knew as soon as it landed it was a finisher. So full credit to Carl Drake. Didn't stop coming forward throughout the 3 rounds, but just out of his depth a little bit, gave it his best right to the end, and obviously the end was as soon as that uppercut landed.
One of the sweetest punches thrown in Prizefighter's short history, and good to see Carl Drake on his stool and chatting away. Real threat now, David, isn't he?
Well, I think he'll be happy with the complete workout tonight. He boxed at his own pace. He was never allowed Drake to pressurise him, so he didn't empty the tank. He boxed a lot longer than young Mendy did in the opening fight, but didn't really exert himself, just did enough work to keep himself in control. Good pro job.
And plenty of respect between the pair, as always, in Prizefighter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, time for you. Nick White has recorded a time of 56 seconds of the 3rd round. a TCO, a technical count out to your winner and through to semi-final number 2 from Northampton. It's Paul David.
Paul David looks a very cool customer. Skills took him to an English title, of course. Sparred with Johnny Nelson. We'll get his thoughts from in a couple of moments' time, but let's hear from him now. Paul David talking away.
Well, Paul, knockout start. Did you just show exactly why you're the tournament favourite?
Boy, it's anyone's fight, anyone's tournament. It took me like a round and a half to actually get warmed up, get my jab established. I was catching him with a few glancing uppercuts, but I knew he was just going to be rushing me, coming forward. It's short, compact, quite strong, swinging wild punches. I knew that's what he was going to do, so I was just trying to time my jab and time my uppercut and left hook. That's all I needed to do against this kid.
Jeff Evans next, he's unbeaten. Do you rate him?
Yeah, I just seen his fight in the back there. He looks like he's young, he's tough, but but I should have the experience to deal with what he's got. He's only had like 3 fights, unbeaten, but only 3 fights. Who has he really fought? You know what I mean?
We look forward to it.
Yeah,
He's got that air of confidence about him, and why not? Bookie's favourite going into the tournament. I'm sure still the bookie's favourite as well. We'll find out in a little while. But this is the semi-final lineup. Patrick Mendy, the 19-year-old, taking on Daniel Cadman, the former red-hot amateur who's a cabbie, and Jeff Evans, unbeaten Welsh novice, against the man you've just seen, Paul David. Well, you have sparred with him over the years. You knew he could perform like that, didn't you?
Awkward, heavy-handed, but I've always thought Prizefighter would never suit an England fighter with sort of the long-distance marathon sort of runners. But if he suited any England fighter, it'd be Paul David. He can manage to hold his own for the first 1 or 1.5 rounds and then start to take over, and that's exactly what you saw. He's heavy-handed, he's awkward, he's cocksure of himself, and he's a bit flash as well. But when he sets the shot up, he's got the power of a light heavyweight. He's in the super middleweight division, set it up with a left hand, brought the right hand right up the middle, in between the guard, and all the time through, he was trying to find that opening, just missing by a fraction of an inch, but then eventually, when he got the shot, spot on.
He looked the classiest of all the competitors. He looked the more experienced, you know, and I think the sparring that he's getting over the years, you know, is going to pay, because he just looks as if he might have a bit too much, leaves himself open, and that's the big danger. Needs to get his mind on the job and do a good job here.
We have a new tournament favourite. Let's find out who it is. Ed Robinson talking to Dale Tempest.
Well, 4 fights down. Dale, how are the odds looking now?
As so often the case with Prizefighter, it's when the fighting starts, the market starts to develop. Mendy's price absolutely collapsed after that demolition of Sam Horton, but Paul David, hugely impressive there, very close between the two of them. Evens Mendy, 5-4 David, 11-2 Evans. Danny Cadman at 10s. I said to you beforehand, we didn't want that final. The money looks like it was spot on, because it does look like a Mendy-David final.
So who do you think is going to win?
Well, I think I'd be with Dave, just an extra bit more experience. Mendy was hugely impressive. We didn't really see enough of him, did we? We only saw him really for 1.5 minutes. I think that experience of David, but it really is an each of 2.
We'll wait and see.
It is tense, it is tight. The first of those semi-finals is on the way next.
Horton from the Black Country, he's won 15 of 17. Big shots from Mendy. Big shots from Mendy, could take him out right here. Ian John Lewis has a good look at Sam Horton. That's a first round victory for Patrick Mendy, who did look fiery, didn't he?
I know I'm going to knock him out first time, so I'll keep everything for the second.
gentlemen, says he'll give it a right old go.